guys, it's 10:32. Um, I'm sure people are going to still keep coming in. Let's take a look at the market real quick. I'm going to share the screen with you guys. Actually, let me get back to the market. Do you guys pay attention to these market stats when they come out?
Yeah, your screen issue doesn't happen when you're sharing your screen, so it must just be your camera.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Is that better? Everybody see the screen? Okay. Do you guys pay attention to these? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So you guys see the active listings down a little bit, about the same as last month. Up, of course, 100% from a year, so they're double a year ago. New listings, and this is the whole Orlando market, Tampa market, everything put together. The whole stellar market, seller matrix. February listings are down. Pending sales are up. Business was better this month, as you can see. Listings sold up 30%, but still down 20% from last year. But that's good. We're only a couple thousand sales, 3,000 sales off. Active days on market, 50. It was 20 this time last year, 23 or something like that. Up 11% from last month, which has to do with new listings coming on. Total sales volume is up, down from last year, but up from last month. Average sales price. So look, total sales volume is down 16%. Sales are down 20%. So it's about the same, but you can tell the average sales price went up a little bit from last year. I love numbers. I'm sorry, I'm a nerd about this stuff, but that's we're up 30% in sales volumes, 30% in price. So it's about the same last month as that. The average sales price is going to be about the same as last month. As you see, we're up 30% in listings sold. We're up 30% in sales volume. So that makes sense. It's going to be about the same. And then months of inventory. You guys know how to find this, right? You just do how many are selling every month. Well, the active listings divided by how many are selling every month. And that's what you get your inventory. So there's your 3. 12 goes into 37. 12 and a half goes in 37 and a half, 3 times exactly. So it's right around 3. Let's take a look at the Puerto Rico stats just for a quick comparison. Just at the amount, little changes in those. I think that's a mistake that there's exactly the same amount of listings, maybe not, but because all the other numbers are pretty different. Like up 43 from last month, listings sold is up 43%, but it's still the same amount and different days on the market. So the days on the market, 129 goes into 1,073 8 times. So that's kind of how you figure that stuff. But look how a little bit of change there makes a difference. Look, they're down 4 months in inventory from last month. It's changed 4 months. So it shows you just with smaller numbers how much it changes. Okay, I want to tell you that. And those of you in Orlando, you got your email this morning from Aura with your month-to-month thing, so you can do your local numbers for your clients as well. With that, Aura sent out an email this morning for those of you who are on Aura. I want to talk to you guys about today. One of the things we're going to talk about today is referral agreement. And some of you are thinking, oh, I know how to do the referral agreement. But a lot of you don't know how to do the referral agreement, even though you've done them before. Maybe you've done them 50 times or 100 times, and they're not technically correct, a lot of them. And we've run into some trouble with some of these. Am I still sharing my screen? Yes? Okay, yes. Good. You still see the referral agreement? Okay, good. All right. So broker A, I will tell you, yesterday we had an agent with a question on this, and it was someone who's going to be sending this agent continuous clients, right? They want to do one referral agreement they're going to send them several people over the years or whatever, hopefully, right? They want to create a referral arrangement with this person. The best way to do that is on a case-by-case basis. Just so you know, it's not the best. It's lazy to do just one agreement with everything unless you want to have it drawn up separately. So as you guys know, everything in Florida, and I don't know what other states because I don't know those states, but everything is very broker centric, right? The whole business is broker centric. The broker does business. You're just an agent of the brokerage. times have changed now. And, you know, back in the days, people actually felt that way. You actually did business with whoever was around back then, Century 21 or whatever. And when you went inside or you called, you didn't care if it was Tammy or Ryan or Lisa or Angie. You didn't care who answered the phone. That's who you dealt with, right? Because you were dealing with Century 21 and they were just an agent. Like if you went to the Mercedes dealership today, you don't care if Bill or Samantha or whoever comes out and is your salesperson, right? You're doing business with that company. That's the way real estate used to be. Now, it's not like that at all. That's why 100% brokerages are so great, because they want to do business with Mike. They don't care what brokerage he's with, right? So, but you have to remember, but the law is still broker centric. So you have to remember that when you're doing these. So let's say that I'm going to get a referral from Coldwell Banker. Okay. When it's you guys, go ahead and put Florida Realty Investments and your name here. Okay. So let's say Susie Smith is sending us a client. They're going to refer to us, Bob the buyer. Okay. They're going to refer it to Florida Realty Investments. And they're going to refer it to Mike Sperling. Okay. Everybody got that? So complete one. You guys very rarely just do, hey, I'll give you $5,000 or anything, right? So you guys typically do. So this is what you have to be careful. I saw one that somebody filled out like this, and fortunately it was not, you've seen that before? Yeah. You did it?
No, I'm saying I would like that referral fee.
Right, yeah. So you guys, and they didn't even read it. It just did the first one. The gross purchase price of any property purchased, sold, or optioned by the prospect. So if they buy a $500,000 home, you're going to be paying, what's that, $125,000 referral fee. Okay. So be careful with that, because you're probably not making a 25% commission to be paying 25% to someone. So get rid of that one. Do not do that one. Okay. Unless you're going to do, now the idea of this is I want to get 1%, no matter if you get 2%, 2.5% or 3%, right? So they can do that, but you would put something like 1%. Okay. Everybody understand that? That's the reason for this blank, but a lot of you guys don't understand that. So let's do that. But this isn't the biggest deal. All right. This is a bigger deal. The 25% of full commission received by broker B on any real estate transaction involving the prospect. Okay, the important thing here is where it says broker B, because if Mike takes this buyer and this buyer just loves Tammy's listing, Mike is going to owe 25% of 6%, not 25% of his 3%. Okay. Does everybody understand that? Give me a nod if you understand that, because broker B is Florida Realty Investments. Broker B is not Mike Sperling. So if Mike takes this to one of our other 550 realtors listings, or if this buyer just loves somebody else's thing and Mike's not going to think anything about it, he's going to say, oh yeah, great. I get to work with Tammy. That's awesome. And now this person is going to be owed 25% of 6% instead of 25% of 3%. And Tammy's going to say, they ain't coming. I don't even know this guy. It's not coming out of mine, right? I don't know Susie Smith or Bob the buyer. Not coming out of my commission, right? And I think that's fair. So be careful when you say full commission received by broker B on any real estate transaction involving the prospect. Okay. So, and this is the right one, since Bob is Bob the buyer, not Bob the seller. And most of the time you guys refer buyers and not sellers. Sometimes you refer sellers if it's a friend of yours who lives out of town or whatever and selling their house. But most of the time it's buyer. 25% of the selling commission received by broker B on any real estate transaction involving the prospect. Okay. Typically you're going to do that. Now, if you're going to refer someone and they're going to be buying, let's say your best friend lives in Atlanta and they want to buy a house in Atlanta and sell their old house, and you want to refer them to someone, then you're going to do both. In fact, you're going to try to get them to sign it like this, the 25, not so you can steal extra money from them, but just because that's an easier one to do. But I do not like that. So what I do a lot here is see additional terms. All right. And then put that down here. And then right down here, you can write as legal or nothing. Don't do a bunch of legalese, but do write whatever it is you need to write. That you can be, Bob's going to be selling his house and listing his house. We want 25% of. We're going to, broker A is to receive 25% of all commissions on any deals that Bob Buyer does. Okay, so that's how you fill this out. Does everybody understand that? Just be wary of a couple of pitfalls. This one, the first one and the second one are pitfalls. You can use the first one and say, I want, 0.75% of whatever they do, because you're really saying, I don't want, people will do that if they've been burned on, oh, I did 25%, and then they work out some deal with some other agent in their office where they only get half. You know what I mean? So they're saying, you know what, just give me 1 point on the whole deal, or 0.75 on the whole deal, whether you get 3% or 2.5% or what. Okay.
Why are you doing these see additional terms? Why are you doing the other?
To see additional terms, because if Bob is buying and selling his house, because it won't let you click both of these. It won't let you click two of these at once.
Okay, got it.
Now here's the best way to do that is to put it in your signature program and go in and put a text box check here and fill out both of these. Okay, that's the best way to do that, rather than writing additional term. So that's what I would like to do. So that's what I prefer that you do. Actually, that's a good question, because I prefer that you put check boxes in both of these, and then don't see additional terms. Just on that case, you do listing and selling commission received by broker B on any real estate transaction involving this prospect. You would do 25% on both of those. It doesn't have to be either or. This automatic fill-in makes it either or. This PDF filler they use, but that's not what it is. All right. Any questions on that? All right. Well, I know you don't have to look at my screen, I guess, when I'm on the screen share, but I need to talk to you guys about something else. Let's see, we got something in chat. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Hold on 1 second. We'll get going again. All right. Let's talk about scams. We're running into a lot of scams, guys. We're running into a lot of people trying to sell property they don't own. We recently had one of our agents had a deal that actually went through all the way through closing. We do not know the determination of it yet, but then the real seller realized their property had been stolen. So that is in the hands of the authorities now, and we haven't heard anything back on that. We're not liable. It went through a title company with all the bells and whistles. So there are complicated scammers out there. So be careful. If something smells funny, it probably is.
What a mess.
And you contact the title company, and if you've got someone. So yesterday, one of you guys contacted me because you had someone suspicious, and it's like my mouth is moving. You had someone suspicious, and you needed some ID. I want you to get ID. I want you to look at the deed, look at who it belongs to, look at the ID. Try to get them on social media the same way you would a catfisher of any kind. Look up their social media. If they have 10 friends, and they're probably not on or 10 followers on their Instagram, or 10 friends on their Facebook, or no connections on LinkedIn is probably not real. If they have thousands of connections on LinkedIn, contact them. I've had to do this before, and it was a real person. I don't know if I told you guys that story. I went to list his property, and it was already listed. And so I contacted that agent. She said, "Oh no, we listed it, and they took the first offer, even though it was 30 grand low, and blah, blah, blah." I said, you've got a scam. One of us has a scammer, and I think it's you. And this guy just got lucky that he wanted to list his property after it had already been during the pending period. She's like, "No, it was listed for, I don't know, it was a condo in Tampa. It was 180 or something. And this was 5 years ago, 180. And the first offer was 150, and they took it." That's a red flag, right? So, but she didn't think anything of it, because the scamming, this was like at the beginning of the scamming. And when she asked them to produce documents and stuff, they ghosted her. They weren't real. But my guy, I talked to him on I looked him up on LinkedIn. He was a professor up at a school in Massachusetts, and so he was a real guy. But you never know. And I kind of accused my guy of being the scammer, and he wasn't. But he was mad, and I said, well, we're looking out for safety here of whoever the proper owner is. So use social media and stuff. Act like it's somebody who's trying to date you online. Look them up, see what's going on with them. Make sure that they are who they say they are. That you're not getting catfished for real estate.
Yeah, I had one recently that I said, they told me they wanted, the whole story. And I said, I'll be happy to list that. Once you send me your ID, I can get it listed and get photos, and they never sent me their ID. I got scammed. I got that vacation home, 7-bedroom vacation home. I had the photos done and everything. And then the owner, I had it listed, actually, I'm pretty sure. And then the owner called me and it was crazy because I kind of verified things and it was sort of working out, and it still wasn't the right person. His accountant vouched for him. And then the owner was mad because the accountant didn't recognize his voice because the other guy had spoken to him. I mean, it was just very bizarre. So I'm very leery.
Yeah. And you have to be, because they do that. They set up relationships with people. They've never been the right person the whole time. So yeah, that's crazy. And it happens. I remember that happening to you. Yeah. So yeah, that absolutely happens. You could share something in the chat. Google leads saying they want to buy a $2 million vacation house in Orlando, and they tried to steal your crypto info. Wow. I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of complicated scams, and they do get to where they will talk to people. So what they do is they can hack into any kind of system, any kind of a property manager or this or that, and then they read the emails from a certain property, and they start going back and forth. They change their email by one letter or something. They start going back and forth with them and telling them, to list their property for X amount or whatever. And then they do, that's how they do it.
I'm wondering with some of these scams, because I've had this girl and she's been very nice and just talking to me. And then she told me her crypto, she didn't start out crypto at all. She just started out, she wanted a house, and we've been talking. And it's always usually WhatsApp. I think she emailed me through Google, and then we did WhatsApp. But anyway, so then she told me after a while, a couple of weeks, she told me she's got great news, that they were in this trading place with the crypto, which I spoke to Liz. But it always seems like, and I can't figure out why, it always seems like they want you to invest in crypto. And I'm not invested in crypto. And so I went on the little site. She goes, "Oh, you should do 1,000." I'm like, why would you care if I'm invested in crypto or not? I mean, she said, well, so good. I didn't necessarily say that to her, but she's like, "Oh, this is such a great thing. And you seem like it's a great person that you should benefit from this like everybody else is." And I'm like, I still can't. So I don't know if they can make money off of me or what, but it's just really weird. They all want you to invest in the crypto.
Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that's where that was going. That's interesting. Yeah, I know they do it on, they do it on social media, and they do all kinds of stuff. So I'm sure it's scammers. I'm sure they have you put it into their own wallet instead of the actual some kind of investment. I don't know how they do it. Oh, really? I don't even know about it. Yes, Maria, the title company is supposed to make the inquiries. Yeah, but you can save your own time right up front by not doing that. Yes, they're supposed to verify everybody's thing, and they're supposed to have you sign in front of a notary. But if you can fake all this other stuff, I'm sure you can fake a notary too. So I'm sure it's not that difficult. I'm telling you, if these people work this hard on making an honest living, they do just fine. But they're very smart, and they work very hard to scam people. And it's just amazing. I think some people would rather live that way for whatever reason. Any other questions or comments on what we're doing? Oh, let's talk about headshots. So in Orlando, March 27th, between 10 and 12, free headshots. They're not even going to try to sell you. I don't know if you guys remember last time we had somebody coming in. They were very nice, and they set up every 15 minutes. They had a new person, and sometimes it took longer. Some of you guys need a little more work than others, I guess. But then they would take headshots. They give you your best one for free, whatever you chose, and then they would try to sell you a package. These people aren't trying to sell packages or anything. They want you to consider them for your real estate photos, your actual listing photos, and that's it. But they're going to do headshots. It's going to take like 5 minutes a person. There's no appointments like last time. It's a very complicated appointment system. No appointments. Just come in. You'll be in and out because everybody's going to be in and out in 5 minutes. So that's what's going on. It's at our headquarters in Orlando on the 27th, and it's at our office at 324 North Dale Mabry on the 4th. Those of you with calendars, I know the 27th is a Monday. And we did it at from 10 to 12, so you guys don't have to fight traffic in Orlando or Tampa. It's going to be 10 to 12 on the 4th as well. So it won't be too bad of traffic. You can get there at some point. Yes, Romina.
Yes. Remember the question I asked you yesterday about that transaction from Brazil? They were signing remotely.
Yes.
Okay. So you said, I'm representing the seller. So you said definitely do an extension. But I keep thinking, and I don't know why. Why should I mean, why is that necessary to make that extension if I'm representing the seller? I don't see that, I don't know. I'm confused on that.
Well, so you're going to get when are they doing the actual, so there's lots of different things that happen here, and I deal with a lot of these. A lot of foreign sellers who sign things and they send them back Pony Express, and it takes 3 weeks to get across the ocean or whatever, right? Sometimes if they don't do it right, if they don't use it, if they try to get cheap on the company or whatever. So typically the title insurance, and I know your deal's a little different. It's the money coming in somehow from somewhere. So, but typically they're going to send some kind of proof that they sent the wire or whatever immediately. And then the money, well, I wasn't sure why the money can't get here for 7 days or the paperwork.
This is what happened. Buyers are in Brazil and they were approved to sign by Ron.
Okay.
So, and sellers are in Peru and they already also signed by Ron. So the thing is, the seller signed first. We were supposed to have a closing yesterday, but the buyers, the lender did approve to sign by Ron. So they had to sign everything online, and they did yesterday at 2 p.m. But the note is the only thing that they're going to need wet signature.
Wet signature. So they got to wait on it to get here, Federal Express or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the close is definitely done, but only they need to wait for, obviously, the note. So the disbursement will be on the 21st.
Okay. So what I was going to
extension active, until tomorrow. But then I do have an extension until tomorrow, but I want to know why I should make an extra extension to the 21st, which is next Tuesday, if I'm representing the sellers. And
I assume that the lender and the title company would want it. I don't care. They've already signed all the paperwork. Both parties have, but the deal is not done until everything is done. The note is done, and the bank's not going to release their money until the note is done. So the property's not sold yet. So I was going to ask the date on a lot of times we have to change the date on the settlement statements and stuff like that afterward to match. If it's been a long time since the original closing date or the date they were supposed to close, but for as of not tomorrow, but the day after, they'll be out of contract. So it's
how much is an escrow?
5,000.
Yeah. So I mean, theoretically, your seller could walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's typically why a title company and lender would want to see an extension all the way through the actual closing, because it's not closed yet. But I don't care.
I mean,
if nobody else cares, I don't care.
I was just thinking, if the buyer's agent will send me an extension, okay. But then why would I send an extension to them if they're the they're
but if you don't do an extension and the money doesn't come through, then your seller keeps the escrow, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. If they don't perform, yes. So, but it sounds like they are performing.
And they don't perform, your seller has to return that deposit.
No, only
No?
till Monday. No, because they're way past their loan approval period and all that stuff. They have to perform by, if she extended it till Monday, then they'd have to perform by Monday.
Well,
Okay.
actually, now that I'm thinking, the money that is not in the escrow account is the lender's money, but the 30% that the buyer's given, it is already in escrow. So it's that plus the 5,000. So they already have a lot of money. So I'm thinking, well, the buyer should send the extension to protect his client's money.
Yes, he should.
So that's what I was thinking. I said, so I'm not going to send the extension.
Well, the buyer should. The buyer should, because if it would typically be for the lender or the title company. That's why the buyer should do it. I'm guessing the date on the settlement statement that everybody signed was a couple of days ago, right? So, or whenever this was, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Right. So that's the date on settlement statement. I'm fine with that, because when we get audited, they look at the settlement statement date. They don't care when everybody got their money. They're going to look at the settlement statement date and make sure we were still under contract, which we were. So that's all I need. That's the only extension I need that we need in our system, is that. Title company, they're the ones who haven't dispersed yet. And so I thought they would ask for one. If they were paying attention, they probably would. And the same with the lender. Now, I mean, that's something that can be signed electronically. It's not a big deal, but.
Well, probably they haven't asked because we still have an extension active and current for until the 16th.
Yeah, but now's the time to start asking, for sure.
That's true.
Well, they should have asked as soon as they knew it wasn't going to close on time.
Exactly.
So so what she just said, if the lender didn't come through with their side of the deal, does that seller get to keep that buyer's 30% as well because it's an escrow?
No.
Okay,
No, that wasn't. That's not deposit money.
Just a deposit.
No. Okay, just the 5.
They could go after whatever other, if they have damages beyond the 5,000, if they've moved, if they've done this and that and done things based on the buyer performing, then they could theoretically, I'm not an attorney, but they could talk to an attorney about what damages they could sue for.
But you know that it was very interesting because now that seller they were asking me, okay, so can we disconnect the electricity, everything on the property? Now that they already signed yesterday. It's so, it's like that time frame that you don't know who. That's why I called you yesterday and said, who's the owner of the property? Obviously still the sellers because they haven't received the money, but on the other side, so I said, keep everything connected because the property is under your responsibility still, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I had never had that,
But the contract does say that the title company will determine the closing. They're the ones that once they're dispersed, they send that email and say we're closed and done. And I think they made that change in the contract. So really, technically, you are not closed until the title company tells you are closed.
Oh, no, yeah. They shouldn't get keys or anything until the money's dispersed. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. So the 21st then.
Yeah. Any other questions or something? Questions, comments? Nope. Okay. So I will be sending soon information about our award ceremony, and I will be looking forward to seeing you guys for the headshots. Which form agreement is best to be used to list a business for sale? That is a great question, and you need to do it from a business site. I can help you with that later. I will help you for that later. Business with no real estate, right? I'm assuming that's what you're asking. Yes. Okay. We'll talk about that later. I will get with you later on that. It's a complicated thing. Any other questions or comments? Email me about that, please.
I do. I'll ask you one. So on a commercial deal, when would you think you would need an attorney? Like the deal that I'm talking to you about, you don't think I would need to recommend?
No, not on that one. That's a commercial. You're buying a commercial building. Okay. No, there's not. No. I mean, if they want an attorney, that's great. But no, not if you use a basic. I mean, they have the same commercial contract done FARBAR for us dummies to use. Okay. So us dummies can use it because we're realtors. All right. So we've been trained well enough to fill in the blanks. And no, you get them involved if they're doing, land deals, stuff like complicated things with complicated. You don't need an attorney on that buying a commercial building. Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Hi, Ryan. It's Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Oh, I don't know if you mentioned earlier when we were talking about, these crooked people. I always make sure that if you're selling a home or getting ready to list a home, to go on the clerk of court's website to look for the deed. And when you're doing that, type in the person's name, and you may get other court records on there as well. If they have any other type of background, like criminal background. I found some information this week, which was very shocking. So I was glad that that information was public information when working with somebody that I don't know.
Yeah, she found something that was scary about someone. So yeah, that you might make her not want to be in a room alone with them. So so just be careful about that stuff. Angie, you have your hand up. Your virtual hand.
Yes, my virtual hand. Hey, I was wondering if anyone had any ideas or suggestions for objection handling for a client that wants to buy new construction, but keeps telling me they're seeing terrible reviews for builders that I'm sending them. I sent them the new home source, actually has pretty good reviews for Syntex homes. So I sent them that and told them, to not trust every review source, because a lot of times people just go on reviews to complain. And I did send her some decent reviews. I don't want to sway them too much. Like, I don't want to force any type of builders down their throat, of course, because maybe they do suck. I don't know. But she really wants a new construction house, and she keeps every builder I send her, every home development I'm sending her, she's just sending me bad reviews for them. Does anybody handle anything like this well?
You just wonder how badly she really wants a house.
Oh yeah, she doesn't really want.
I just showed a house the other day to a girl that she was a contact from 5 years ago, and I showed her on the weekend, and it was the same story. It's overpriced, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking to myself, you just really don't want to buy a house. You've been renting for 5 years, and your story is still the same. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I was trying to get her in the door. Like, we have an appointment today at 1 o'clock to go see these houses. I'm like, just go in and see them. Just go see them. See if it feels good to you. See if it feels right. It spurs you to want to sell your house and move. I was like, let's just go see him. And then finally she was like complaining. I was like, fine, I'll come pick you up. She's like, it's 40 miles away. I was like, I'll come pick you up, even though it's far out of my way. And so,
That's probably the best thing, is just let her see them. Like you said, it's probably, that's
I got to get her in the door. Yeah. But then today she sent me some more bad reviews.
I have a really good idea.
Yeah.
Ask her to meet you for lunch. Tell her you'll buy lunch. And then everywhere she picks, send her the bad reviews. And you'll never eat lunch if you only go to places with good reviews, because there's bad. You guys are you guys on these, like, I'm on this Winter Garden raves and rants and raves thing. Have you guys ever been on these things?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is terrible.
There's probably more rants than raves, because that's probably people's nature.
Oh, there's no raves. It is total rants. It is total rants. Exactly. There was one, somebody said review, rants, it's like rants, raves, and reviews, or whatever. Review bad drivers at 4-way stops and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's not a review. You're just complaining. I mean, what am I not going to deal with bad drivers at 4-way stops? It's not a review. It's just constant complaining, and every restaurant, whatever. And then people come on there, and that's my cousin's restaurant. And it's just ridiculous. But what my point is, it's the same way with our FRI reviews. We struggle with that because we're a property management company, and not you agents. You agents get great reviews, but a property management company, and nobody goes on there. Yes, I rented this place for 12 months. I paid my rent and everything went great. Nobody leaves a review like that. That's what happens most of the time, but that nobody leaves a review like that. They leave a review of this and this, and the owner didn't want to fix the dishwasher and blah, 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 right? Which is natural too. It happens. So, I mean, that's, you can't, I think Tammy hit it dead on the head. She doesn't want a new house that badly. If she keeps picking apart every builder, nobody's going to go on there. Look, they have 5 bad reviews in this neighborhood of 400 homes. The other 395 people aren't going to go on there and say, yeah, the house is just what I thought it was. I paid for it.
Yeah, you could actually figure out the percentage, like whatever he said, how 5 bad reviews for 400 homes, whatever that percentage is. Go, well, that's only a certain percent of this
less than that. It's 1%.
Everybody else, well, look at this. This 95% are happy with their homes.
Yeah, for sure.
Or more, and none of the homes are going to have. They're not going to open the cabinet and there's a pile of gold in there. So nobody's going to leave this super great review. I mean, it is what they thought they were buying. You know, they were sold on a great product. It's what they thought it was, and they got it. And so they're not going to leave a review.
And
Yeah.
new construction probably can be stressful for the majority of the people because you have to go through that whole building process. There might be delays, and just tell her that's kind of the reality. So you don't know, but in the end, you get the great product. But maybe the process for some of these people was stressful, or they might just be stressful people.
Yeah. New Home Source has good review, has like a good review place where it's actually reviews of Syntex homes here in Tampa, St. Pete. So it's more specific to the area, which I like. I just discovered that this morning. And there are 79 5-star reviews and only 10 1-star review. So
Andy,
they still have a different one.
You know that when I used to work in another type of sales, I remember the way to overcome the review part of, you know, conversation is that sometimes you gotta tell people how many times, every time you eat in a restaurant, like Ryan says, for example, let's use a restaurant. Every time you eat in a restaurant and it's good, you not always leave a review, because imagine every place you like, you're gonna leave a review. Normally people don't do that. People only do reviews when there's something wrong. But if you compare how many times people will leave good or bad reviews, so you cannot basically let yourself go on the bad reviews only because of that. So no, it's not the majority, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just gonna have to keep telling her, and hopefully I'm gonna call her when we hang up here. And I found this community that's everything she wants. So like now, and then she found reviews that are bad. I'm like, come on. Like, I did it. And she's like, nope, bad reviews.
Is she pre-approved?
She's not yet, because I had told
Well,
her
that's the other sign. If she's not really willing to get pre-approved.
Yeah. But since she wants new construction, I told her to kind of wait for the builder that we go see, so that we could go see these today, and hopefully she goes and gets approved with the builder's lender. But yeah, she's not super motivated. So that's why, to sell her house, because she just renovated it. And so I went there for a listing appointment, and I turned it into a buyer consult, because I'm like, you're not ready to sell this house. You need to go find the right house first. So, you know, we scheduled appointments today to go see these new builds, and hopefully I'll get her in the door, and then I think it'll work out. She won't care about the reviews. But
is there a private builder that you could work with, like a custom builder, or maybe you don't even know her budget?
Yeah, that'll be out of her budget, I think, because she wants to downsize, you know, so, you know, she's looking in the 500s, and there's not too many custom builders around here in Tampa that'll do a custom build for that amount.
I actually want to ask you, now that you said that about the pre-approval, what do you guys do in that case? I don't know if everybody do the same thing, but let's say somebody wants to buy a new home, but you don't know if they qualify. So you also don't want to go show properties, blah, 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 without knowing if they actually qualify for a house, new or used. So do you always do that? Kind of like take people to see properties without a pre-approval, even though that they're going to buy on a new home?
Yeah, my lender will talk to them, like my lender that's here in town, in Tampa, and he'll talk to them without running a credit pull or anything. And he'll also talk to clients if somebody like calls me online, or just a random person calls me and wants to see a house, and I don't want to meet with them yet until, you know, I get more information from them. So he'll kind of screen people for me. So he'll call them and see how interested they are. He'll ask them their Credit Karma score and their income. And then he'll say, yeah, more or less, they probably can afford a $500,000 house with no problem. Or no, these people are crazy. They don't have any money. They don't make any money. They got tons of debt. And he'll let me know before pulling anything, as just kind of a favor to me. Even if I tell them they want new construction, probably are going to use the lender, he'll still do that as a favor to me. And I usually don't show anybody houses until I have a consultation with them, but I will show them houses if they're not pre-approved yet, kind of depending on the scenario. You know, I had some clients recently that I knew I wasn't going to show them house until they got approved. They got approved, and I showed them houses. This lady, I know she has the income, you know, two professionals in the house working, making good money. Like they have tons of equity in their house that they own now. They have like 400 grand in equity, so they could even buy cash after selling their house. So that's why I feel like there's no issue with me showing this one. So I do it on a case-by-case basis, but I do agree with not really showing people houses until they talk to the lender at least.
I do. I show without pre-approval, but I ask them how much they make. I ask them, you know, do they have much debt? Do they think they have good credit? And you kind of just get a sense, like, especially for like the Lake known leads, you think, you know, if I get a call, I don't talk about that. I don't want to insult those kind of people on the first time, but I did work with a doctor years ago. I showed him so many houses out a ways, like hours away. So we're going to put a contract in. We're driving home 8 o'clock at night in the dark from Leesburg, and the lender calls Tammy. His debt to income ratio is he can't buy. So he's reemerged, and he wanted me to start showing him houses again. And I said, we really need to get you pre-approved because the interest rate, blah, blah. He still owns a house. He doesn't want to sell that house. So I went and showed him one house in Leesburg on Saturday. And I just said, we really need to get you pre-approved. He has made that attempt because I'm not going to run around anymore with him when he couldn't purchase last time. And if his buying habits haven't changed, his spending habits. But again, I pretty much go into that conversation that the lender would just to kind of screen them, because they're like, well, I make $32,000 a year. Well, you know what? I'm like, I'm so sorry, but you're probably not going to be able to buy anything. I mean, they could do something for 200 maybe if they don't have any debt and a car payment, so that's what I do.
Yeah, similar to what my lender is probably asked them. You're asking the same type of questions. And I do that sometimes with people, but I usually let the lender kind of do that.
And then if they want to get pre-approved, if that's good, then, and they're willing, I will say, well, why don't we get you in touch with the lender and get a pre-approval letter so that if you find something you like, we can jump on it. The market right now is a little different. You have a little bit of time, like before you did it. So you really had to have it. So if they're willing to, I would prefer at that point, make the handoff to the lender and get them pre-approved and then start looking. So you do know the price range, if they make good income, but they have debt. So it's just kind of a judgment call. And you just have to see what they're, the whole weigh it yourself when you're talking to them.
Well,
And I've had buyers that have gone from saying they want new construction and then ended up doing a resale. So getting pre-approved isn't going to hurt them any. It'd be good to know their really starting budget to know what new construction communities to even look in.
Exactly. And that's kind of, I used to say that too, like wait, but now I'm kind of like, no, let's get you pre-approved so we even know that price is going to be okay. And then the builder can repull their credit and do it if they go that way.
But that's the other thing. What if you take people, you say, okay, they might qualify, they have not too many debts, but all of a sudden when they decided to apply for a house, they won't qualify for that amount. So probably you show so many houses above.
No, I actually would. You don't want to offend people like on a first phone call when you haven't met them. So if you're meeting them at a house, so I'll do the little screening thing. And then if they want to see a house that day, I'll just go. But if you're starting to show them lots of houses, if it goes past that and they are serious about buying, you definitely need to get them pre-approved pretty quickly because you need to know that you're looking in the right price range. And that's what I say. We just need to know what price range we can look in, because I wouldn't want you to be disappointed if we were above or below.
Romina, do you do a formal buyer's consultation with buyers before you start working with them? Yeah. So, I mean, that answers a lot of those questions right there. And that shows their seriousness too, right? Like if they're not going to come sit down or talk to you on Zoom about how the buying process works, then you know how serious they are or aren't.
I have a little, I've got it's an app that I have on my Instagram where people click on the button and says book now. So that way people make an appointment over the phone, because that's another thing. I used to go to see people, somewhere. Either in the office, I did it like 3 times. Other times we meet in like Panera, Starbucks or something. But at the end I say, you know what? Sometimes people, they just have questions that they're not ready to buy. So I did this thing where they make an appointment. I said the first appointment consultation will be over the phone. I'll ask you a few questions, and please have all the questions you have for me also, because you have either 15 minutes or 30 minutes over the phone consultation. And that's how I start asking and see if they're ready or not. And then that's the consultation I do. And I find out if they're ready or not ready.
Yeah. Because I don't mind showing people homes if they're willing to sit through that consultation with me and talk to me and hear about all the different loan options and stuff. And then they're just kind of, maybe not in a big hurry right now, but I still want to meet them face to face and show them houses. And I want to get them used to calling me to see a house, not going on Zillow and clicking on the first button that pops on. I want to get that relationship and that rapport building going on in person that you can't do over the phone and you can't even do on Zoom as much. So, getting in front of them, getting at an appointment you know, sometimes it's a waste of time. Of course, we've all wasted our time before, but you know, getting in person with them is really important to me, to develop that relationship so that they do start calling me when they want to see a house, and when they are ready to buy, then, you know, they think of me rather than.
Yeah, it's a little bit different in your case, because I know you work with a lot of locals. I don't. I do,
Mhm.
but not that much. So,
Yeah.
for example, somebody is here on vacation and they're probably ready to buy. Probably they
Yeah.
have the money, they have
Mhm.
everything.
You have to
But
jump for 'em.
imagine,
Mhm.
exactly. Imagine if I go and see, I'm here in Orlando, Romina, I would like to buy a house, blah, blah, blah. And I said, sometimes they are not ready. And I have
For
clients that come back to me after 2 years of starting the planification. So that's why it's a little bit different, but that's the
You
one.
you have to decide what works for you in that kind of market that's you know, approaching you, because like when I get the Zillow calls, I just go, and you know, you might need to work with those people. It might never come to pass, but from your experience, you might just need to go show them some houses, and they might not buy right then, but for you, that might be what you have to do. So I don't know that you can always follow, like, you know, if I talk to these people and I told them, ask them right off, are you pre-approved, blah, 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 you know, that's probably not going to set real well. So
Yeah, no, it's different. The approaching is different, and they don't know. Like I said, it's people from South America that they're here on vacation, staying at, I don't know, Airbnb or whatever, but they wanna just look around, but they're not ready. They're never ever ready, because real estate there is so different than here. Then imagine if I go with every single person that calls me and show, I'm gonna be completely.
you know, the thing you could do is maybe explain, I don't know, you'd have to think this through. You know, I get so many calls for people that are on, because this is my philosophy. People are on vacation and they're like, oh, we want to move to Florida. We want to live in Florida, but they just want to see houses, and they really probably aren't even ready. And there might be in 10 years when they're going to retire, they're going to move to Florida. So you could say, I'm really happy to show you houses, but I get so many vacationers that call me. Some are ready and some are not. So I have to compensate. So I will do it for a fee, maybe. I don't know. And then if you end up buying, I can credit you back that fee at the closing.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But yeah,
if they were serious, they may not be, you know, have a problem paying you the fee.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, because, you know, like I said, it's a little bit different, but it's a way. I could probably do it that way.
Tell them that's normal. That's normal here in America.
Yeah, they wouldn't know.
Yeah,
say I get a deposit to show you properties, and at the end of the week, if you purchase, we'll credit that back. If not, we'll just credit it back when. Yeah, just how it works for foreign nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, don't do that. Don't do that without a business brokerage agreement. There's a place on there for a retainer, and that's what it's for.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but I have never done it like that. But I do explain it to them, and you know, they always wanted to just look houses, go around.
Yeah.
So that's
but if they were serious, they would be willing to pay somebody, I think, to look around.
Yeah.
If they weren't serious, they want you to do it for free. But
or
if they
sign a broker agreement,
because it's kind of the cost of doing business and selling real estate. That's just part of the cost of it.
Yeah,
that's true.
We
from another country.
Oh.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Nothing.
You're welcome, Lisa. I don't know how to respond to you, right? But yes, anytime you can call me and I can tell you. Because Lisa said, thank you for sharing your way to do consults. And it's a really nice app that you can have and add it to your Instagram. It's easy, and you can block the days that you don't want, and it's nice.
Okay. All right.
If I may, I feel like I need to ask the waiter to bring us another round and maybe some more cheese and crackers, but that was great. I like the round table information from everybody. They're pretty much, they've already said the kind of things I do. Meeting with a first-time client, a buyer like that I have no problem meeting with them before finding out if they're approved or not. But I mean, key points from the others that, get with them, get a rapport going, it gets you the opportunity, one, see a house or a couple of properties, and at the same time get to meet them and find out just how far they've got, what they know, and then go into kind of a consultation thing. So all those points are well taken. But I would like to take this opportunity, that is to say, thank you to Ryan and all the staff at the Oviedo office. I'll just kind of preload this. AJ Babar and I got together late on a Sunday afternoon a couple of weeks ago with a client that came forward to me, and we just happened to where we were going to meet and how we were going to do it. We wanted to sit and meet this client and find out what he was doing, what he wanted to do with the commercial property. And it just turned out that the office there in Oviedo happened to be the perfect place to be. But to get to the point, Monday morning, AJ and myself and the client, we just barged right into the office. And just, we need a conference room. Can we get a conference room? And the young lady, Ryan, what's her? Is it Melanie or Melanie?
Melina.
Melina. Okay, yeah, she jumped up right away and got us an office, put us in the back. You didn't bother us. Everybody did their thing. We had the office back there, and we got everything done and walked out. And I realized, well, I hadn't said anything to anybody as far as a thank you, but I appreciate the accommodating and letting us do our thing there at the office. That worked out pretty well.
Awesome. I'm glad it did. That's what we're there for. We have 3 conference rooms at that office if you guys ever need one. And I think that day we actually got all 3 of them filled up there for a few minutes, but typically they're pretty empty. Next week we'll have something for you. I'll have something in the meantime about the awards, and we will have follow up on be sending you a reminder on the headshots as well. That is not next Monday. It is the following Monday, the 27th in Orlando, and about a week later on Tuesday in Tampa on the April 4th. Any other questions or comments before we go? Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, Angie.
I have 14 acres for sale in Groveland. If anyone knows anybody's residential land, 14 acres. 7 of it seems buildable. The other 7 is close to wetlands, right on State Road 33 in Groveland. If anyone wants any information, reach out to me. And I can send it.
Awesome. I have a list in Kissimmee, Regal Oaks vacation, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, fully furnished, 369,000. Regal Oaks is a really nice place for Airbnb.
Okay, so it's short-term rental. Awesome. All right, guys. We're going to do going once, going twice. Anything else before we go? Give you guys goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Are you going to get a new computer?
I don't know. We'll find out. You'll know next week for sure.
All right. Bye.